I got to sit down with a 30-year-old guy, good-looking kid, college graduate. And we talked for about 20 minutes, one-on-one. And at the end of the 20 minutes, I can't remember anything about our conversation, but I remember this one line. He hugged me, and he said, "This must be what it feels like to have a father. This must be what it feels like to have a father." 20 minutes with this young man. 80% of the people in jails and prisons have no father. The women have no father figure. The only men in their lives are the men that are using them for whatever purpose, to get drugs and so forth. I got in the car and drove home, and the whole time home I cried. I'm Italian, we cry. Cried all the way home with that running through my head. That must be what it feels like to have a father. I got home that night. My wife was reading the paper. Show you how long ago this was. There's this paper thing. It's kind of like you get the news. Yeah, young people wouldn't know that. But and as I walked into the family room, she said to me, "Did you read the story about this guy that raped a 6-year-old girl? They just sentenced him to 25 years in Mansfield." That was the exact sentence of the guy I had just talked to. The guy who had hugged me and said, "That must be what it feels like to have a father." And my wife went to bed, and I was unwinding, and I read the article, and it was him. I had cried over a rapist. And I said, "That's it, I'm done with jail ministry. I can't do this anymore. This just isn't for me. I've got to find other ministries to do." And that March, we were in Naples, Florida, where we go every March, and we sat at our favorite restaurant, D'Amico's on 41, having our endless chopped salad with an iced tea. And my phone rings, and it's Dr. Ray Guarendi. Does that name mean anything to anyone? He's from Canton, Ohio. He's a psychologist. He has 10 kids, several of them different races, special needs, and so forth. His wife is a saint. He does a show on Christian radio. He's been doing it for years. And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm having lunch at D'Amico's." He says, "I'm coming over, you're buying me lunch." And so I shared this story with Dr. Ray. And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Tony, what do you call a 6-year-old that's attacked like that?" And I said, "A victim, a terrible victim." "And what do you call someone that does it?" "A criminal, a perpetrator." I went on and on. I actually used some words. I always use a few words you can't say in chapel. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, "Tony, they're the same person. I'll bet if you check, you'll find that he was abused as a kid himself, that all he did was do what he's done." And I did the research, and that was the case. And he begged the judge to put him in a program, and instead they just sentenced him to prison. And in 25 years he'll be 55, and unless someone intervenes, nothing will change. Not a coach, not a friend, not an uncle, not a parent, not a minister, not a priest. No one intervened.